Shalom. Welcome to your Rabbi. I'm your host, Rabbi Joshua Korber. This week I have another question from my grade 4 student, Tzipora.
What happens if you write the name of God on a piece of paper and then eat it?
So when Tzipora asked this question, I was actually really joyed and amazed. I had been teaching them that you cannot erase the name of God. It's forbidden because it's a desecration of the name. When you write out the Hebrew name of God, it has to remain, and if the thing you've written it on begins to deteriorate and fall apart, you have to bury it. We consider names very sacred, especially the name of the Eternal One. So she then asked, well, what if you ate it? What if you ate the name of God? Ha ha ha, that's so funny. And she thought she was telling a joke, but she's not. She's talking about the Torah. There's a case in the Torah where when a woman makes her husband jealous somehow, and she manages somehow to make him jealous because he thinks that she's sleeping around, and she might have done nothing wrong, but he thinks that she has, and he has this accusation, and he's got no witnesses, he's got nothing to prove it, just the spirit of jealousy overcomes him. This is what it says in the book of Bamidbar in Numbers, and there's a thing that you do for that. You approach the priest, the woman approaches the priest, she makes a flower offering, and the priest then writes the name of God on a small piece of parchment, dissolves it into water, which she has to drink. And now, if she's innocent, she will have children and bear fruit, and her husband will be shamed for accusing her. However, if she's guilty, she will be cursed, and she won't ever be able to have kids, and she'll become ugly and disgusting, and no one will ever want to be with her again. Now, I am not about to get into the gender politics of Semitic culture 3,000 years ago, but I will say that there's a rabbinic statement about this case, which is that you see how much God wants there to be peace between husband and wife. You see how marital bliss and marital peace and harmony is so important to God that God is willing to have God's name written and erased, something that never happens in Torah. Never is allowed to happen. It's only for that case, and it's to prove the woman's innocence. That's the tendency of the tradition, is to believe that this is actually going to prove innocence more than it will ever prove guilt. So it's a 5 little second thing of Torah. You could really get into a lot about what Sota is, but I just think it's brilliant when kids are able to intuitively on their own come up with some great Torah. So that's your little piece for this week. Do you have a question? Please write to yourrabbi170@gmail.com. See you next week. She's talking about the Torah. The Torah actually says, when you write the name of God...
What happens if you write the name of God on a piece of paper?
And you do what?
And eat it.
And you what? We can't hear you.